Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And hey, wow, I have seen a lot of this lately, and I get a lot of people asking me, because of my age, RRSP Meltdown. Have you heard about it? Take it out early. Don't wait until you're 70. Start withdrawing it at 60. And I was thinking about that for a second, and I said, that is just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Absolutely 100% dumbest thing I ever heard. I have no understanding why you start withdrawing your RSP out at 60. You don't need the money. You don't need the money. You have enough money. You're still working, whatever. You actually don't need this money. But you're going to start taking it out early to save on taxes. Well, what taxes are you saving? Well, I'm going to take it out at a lower amount because, my income is a little lower. Well, just hang on a second. Maybe you're 65 and you're not working anymore and your pension is not kicking in for a couple of years, and your actual income, you're not taking CPP early. All you got is OAS coming in. And you're like, hey, I have enough money in the bank. I'm okay. I don't really need the RSP money. I'm okay. I could do what I want to do. Isn't that a great scenario to be in? Now, if you're in a scenario where you have no money whatsoever and you can't even buy food unless you pull out your RSP, you start pulling out your RSP early. But this is called meltdown, which means you're taking it out and you don't need the money. RRSP meltdown. And this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I'm serious. I don't get it. For years, for 30 years, or 40 years really, because I started putting money in my RSP at 20. I'm now 60 almost. 40 years of doing it. And now you're turning around and said, well, you should take it out early. You don't spend it though. They all say you don't spend it. You got to have a plan. Well, just hang on a second here. I have $1,185,000. If I put $10,000 in my RSP every year for 30 years, I took my tax return and stuck that in my RSP, because that's taxes, not money to spend. This is how much I have. Excuse me. $1,185,000, assuming a 5% return for the last 30 years. Okay, now if you don't put your tax return in your RRSP over that 30 years, you only have $589,000. 10 grand in, let it grow at 5%, you have $589,685. Tax, it grew, no taxes. And they want you to take it out early. Well, you'll be in a lower tax bracket. You'll only be in, let me see, we'll be in the 20.5. If you die, you're going to be in the 33. I don't care, honestly. But you'll be 20.5%. You're never, let's start taking it out at 60 because you're going to be at the 20.5. Well, first of all, I'm still working, so that doesn't work. And maybe I have no income whatsoever, so I can pull some down. So let's say I pull $60,000. I'm like, okay, I want to pay the least amount of tax on my RSP money. Not waiting for the RIF to kick in. I just want the money out, pay the least amount of tax. Well, if you have no income whatsoever, zero, and you pull $60,000 a year out, and I guarantee you everybody watching this video has some sort of income, so this isn't really how it's going to work. It'll be even worse. You pull the 60 grand out, you got no income. You're going to pay $10,000 in taxes on that. That's right. In Alberta, the lowest tax environment for that 60 grand, you're going to pay $10,000 in taxes. Got your personal exemptions, but that's what it's going to work out to. That's $10,000 you don't have anymore. And that's $10,000 not growing tax-free in your RRSP or your RIF. It's gone to the government, but I'm saving taxes. Not only is it gone to the government, the 5% you're going to make on that $10,000, you're not going to make anymore. Oh, but you're going to invest it outside because, even though this RRSP is giving you $600,000, oh, do it outside. Well, why didn't I do that my whole career? No, because RSP is the best investment going. It's tax-free, it grows tax-free, you get capital gains, top of capital gains. No, The whole benefit to give you the lump sum, you're throwing away? Oh, because I got a big tax bill when I die. No, you're going to pull it out and spend it. Trust me. I take care of people that are older, that are in homes. You're going to spend it. So, you take the 60 out because you want to melt down. You pay $10,000 in taxes. By the time you're 71 and you're in the RRSP anyways, and this number is going to be a lot smaller because you're going to pull 60 grand out for say 5 years. Now your 600,000's down to 300,000. Woohoo! I only need to take 5.29% of that. You pay $10,000 in taxes every year that you didn't need to pay because you didn't need the money. And you also missed out on $2,761 a year that $10,000 in taxes would have made in your RRSP. Gone. You're not going to get it. And when you invest it outside of the RRSP, it's in a, you might be able to do the 6,500 in the TFSA. So you got 50 grand left over because you had to pay taxes and some of it, but the rest of it's outside. TFSA is only 6,500. So the rest of it's outside. Oh, great. So I only got 50. I can only shelter 6,500 of it. Oh no, that's $43,500. So I put it back in and I buy the same stuff that I had before, making my 5%. Now all that 5% is taxable. It's T5 income because it's outside of your RSP. So you pay tax on the money when you pull it out. You pay tax on anything it makes before you're 71 and all the way to the end. The only thing you save on is that $43,000, if you bought a GIC, would just be $43,000, would be tax-free because you paid the lower tax rate on it. Wow. Where's the benefit? I don't see it. If I just leave it in there, I get the growth tax-free, I get the dividends tax-free, I get the dividends reinvesting tax-free, I get my interest tax-free, everything is tax-free, and I'll have a larger number at 71. I'm going to have $1 million in my RRIF instead of $300,000. They don't talk about this. Take it out early. I have no understanding why the banking, I know why the banking sector and the financial planners are doing this. Oh, no, you got to make your tax bill lower. What are you talking about? I saved, putting it in there. I have this nest egg, and now you want me to invest it where it's not protected. I don't understand. The whole point was no taxes on it while it grows, and then I'll pay tax at the end. How about all the tax returns for 40 years that I got back from the government? All that tax money I got back. What did I do with that? Does that not count in this calculation? They're missing out on the whole big picture to say, well, you can pay 30.5% instead of 45%. Ooh, that's so much less money. No, you end up with less money. It's outside, you end up spending it. We all know what we do with it when it's sitting in our bank account. But when it's in the RSP protected, you leave it in there and you let it grow. And you take your, as I always say, take your 7% out a year. Goes up by 5, you take 7 out. Doesn't matter how long you live, you're going to have lots of money. So thank you very much for tuning into my RRSP Meltdown video. Because I don't think anyone, unless you need the money to live, should take money out of their RSP before they're 71. I.e., it turns into a RRIF and you have to take it out. And I think you should take 7% a year out when that happens, not the minimum. I think you should take 7. Because in my calculations, if I'm making 5% on the money and I'm taking 7% out, it just works wonderfully for the next 30 years. Just wonderfully. And that's how you should do it. And if you don't want to do it that way, well then don't do it that way. I'm not a financial planner or anything. But this RRSP Meltdown is a scam by the banks to get you to pay for their services so your money doesn't grow as good as it could. And you supposedly, when you die, you save taxes. Well, I don't think that is very smart and or relevant. I will have way more money if I leave it protected as long as I can. So that tax bill, when I die, will be enormous because there's going to be $1 million in there instead of 100,000. And yeah, I'm going to have to pay taxes on that, but there'll be way more money. If I have any heirs, will get way more money, net money at the end, by having a huge bag of money than this small little bag of money. And because I didn't get to let it grow tax-free and everything as I continue on. I don't get it. We used it to our advantage to get the nest egg, and then we blow the nest egg. I don't get it. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. I hope this makes sense to you. You want the largest number you can possibly have when you hit the riff. And then you pull out 7%. And if that's $80,000 a year, oh darn, I'm getting clawed back. If that's $100,000 a year, oh darn, I'm getting clawed back. Who cares? You're retired and you got $100,000 a year coming in? Because you saved in your RRSP and you kept it in there and you let it grow until the end? Isn't that a problem you want to have? That's a problem I want to have. I'm not going to have that problem, but I want that problem. And I'm going to try and attain that problem. So thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a wonderful, absolutely wonderful week. More snow's on the way, even though it's almost April. And I'll see you in the future.